Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll start with this. Another look at the upcoming Rupprecht versus Matsuda atom-weight unification match for 3 of the 4 major titles at this weight, set to go down late next month on the 23rd. Tina Rupprecht, 32 years old, to Eri Matsuda, who's 30. Tina Rupprecht, who's an orthodox fighter. Eri Matsuda, who is a southpaw. This is for the WBC, WBO, and WBA titles. If you notice that the WBA title is not registered on BoxRec as being on the line, that has more to do with a dispute between BoxRec and the WBA.
Tina Rupprecht sports professional record of 13 wins with 1 loss, 1 draw, 3 knockouts, having never been knocked out in 15 professional bouts spread across 2 divisions,
atom weight and minimum weight.
To Eri Matsuda, who sports professional record of 7 wins with 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 knockout, having never been knocked out in 9 professional bouts.
Last in action earlier this year in January against Yuko Kuroki, Eri managed to win a split decision. Tina Rupprecht, on a very similar schedule, also saw action earlier this year in January against then unbeaten Fabiana Batiki for what was Fabiana's WBC title. Tina was able to win a unanimous decision. Now she's on an undisputed run.
Comparatively, Tina Rupprecht has fought the better fighters of the 2. Fighters like Sinicia Estrada, Yo Costavalle, Fabiana Batiki.
Then unbeaten Niorgis Carreno. Comparatively, Tina has fought the better quality of competition, and she has more professional bouts, more rounds in the bank, more experience. The edge goes to Tina.
It also helps that the fight's going down in Germany, Tina's neck of the woods.
She'll have home field advantage, though having seen Eri Matsuda in action, I don't get the sense that any foul play or funny business will be needed. Eri Matsuda, the taller, longer fighter of the 2.
Punches kind of wide.
You notice that Eri Matsuda, when she lets shots go, she punches kind of wide. Doesn't really protect herself too good.
She's open to be caught, peppered with shots mid-range to inside in the exchange.
Mid-range to inside, that's where Tina Rupprecht lives. That's where she does her best work. Mid-range to inside. Tiny Tina, as she's dubbed. She was small for minimum weight, and she's still small at atom weight, the shorter, stumpier, stockier fighter of the 2. Very effective within close quarters.
Light on her feet, elusive, tricky.
Though still aggressive, very aggressive, what creates a lot of pressure for the woman opposite the ring, that Tina's going to come forward and let punches go and be slippery while she does it.
Eri Matsuda's leaky defense.
I don't think Tina Rupprecht is going to have any issues finding the target.
Landing clean punches.
Eri Matsuda, she likes to beat those feet, likes to move around, try to set up counters, try to walk the opponent into punches, but as stated, she swings kind of wide. Her defense ain't the best. Where Tina's more calculated, more coordinated, throws shorter, sharper punches, protects herself better, tucked behind that high guard.
Compact.
She throws more compact punches. That's saying that the hand's not out there long enough for you to get in a counter. The punches are very short. They come in fast.
Come in hot.
And thus, I feel that Tina Rupprecht will show the cleaner, clearer work more often than not.
The cleaner punches, the better defense, movement.
I anticipate that Tina Rupprecht will be the aggressor and Eri Matsuda will be the defender. She's going to try to keep space and keep distance between herself and Tina. But because her punches are so wide, she'll get caught in between. As Tina closes the distance and looks to get close to Eri Matsuda, she'll be able to land 1 or 2 shots on the way in.
On the inside, she'll have an even bigger advantage because she can string together combinations much faster there than Eddie Matsuda, since she's the shorter, stumpier fighter with shorter arms. At that proximity,
Tina's got the edge. Tina, being a fast and furious fighter that lets go of those rapid-fire combinations.
she's not a knockout merchant per se. She's not big on knockout power, but she is big on offense. She is big on aggression, and I think she'll be able to exploit all the holes in Eddie Matsuda's technique.
Credit to Eddie Matsuda for traveling to Germany for this unification match. She must really believe in herself.
But I don't. I like Tina Rupprecht to win. I like Tina to win by way of a points decision in a sometimes scrappy affair where, more often than not, Tina's showing the effective aggression, the cleaner punches, the cleaner work.
And I think she's going to win the fight. This will be the second world champion that Tina Rupprecht has taken an alphabet title from at what is her second weight. A victory over Eri will move Tina up the Ring IQ pound-for-pound list and bring her one step closer to becoming this division's undisputed champion. After this, if she wins, she's only got one more belt to collect.
The one that's going to be on the line in the Yamanaka versus Patiki fight.
Going down on that same show, it's all set up to where an undisputed champion will be crowned shortly in the women's atom weight division, and I like it. Men's super lightweight news. Former two-time super lightweight champion Regis Prograis said, "No, I'm not retiring. I will be a champion again."
The cookie-cutter comment I've been seeing everybody say is that because Regis looked bad with Zorilla, and he looked bad with Haney, and he just lost to Jack, that he's a shot fighter.
I've wrestled with that because I don't see a shot fighter so much as a fighter who was in several bad style matchups consecutively. So after 3 performances like that, people might think you don't have it anymore. But swap out the guys that he fought for the likes of a Steve Claggett, for example, a mid-range to inside pressure fighter, volume puncher. That's the kind of guy that Regis looks for. That's the kind of guy that Regis looks good against. An aggressive guy who's going to come towards him, not a guy who's going to move away, the way I see it. If he would have fought Steve Claggett this past weekend instead of Jack Catterall, and he knocked out Steve Claggett, which I think he can, I think he would.
What would people say then?
The knee-jerk reactions in boxing work both ways. That they might be calling you shot today, they might say you still got it tomorrow. That if it were Regis Prograis versus Steve Claggett this past weekend, and Regis knocked him out where Teofimo could not as many people would think Regis is shot then, would they? Not if he stops a guy that a younger guy couldn't stop.
Devin Haney said, Regis, retire, bro.
I saw Regis Prograis say that it might be time to move up in weight, and that's not a bad idea because he's been at 140 for a very long time. For a guy in his mid-30s, that can't be getting any easier. So there is moving up in weight to a healthier weight. That's a good idea. But there is also patching up the holes. Because what Regis seems to struggle with is closing the distance and diversifying his offense. That if he has to give chase, that's where he labors.
What can he do?
Alternate his guard. More often than not, you see Regis Prograis using a Philly shell. And that's good if you're hanging back and working off the counter. But if you're the one that's got to initiate and come forward, you might want to try a mid guard or a high guard.
Counter off that guard.
Still allows him to work off the counter the way that he likes to, but it provides better coverage when he's coming forward.
What else?
Doubling and tripling up off the jab might seem like a generic bit of advice, but that's what Regis is missing. That's what he needs more of. To show the jab, show it more often. Not necessarily because you're trying to touch the guy with the jab, you're just trying to keep his guns holstered while you get closer.
That's something else.
I didn't see a shot fighter in there on Saturday. I just saw a guy who's once again in a bad style matchup. He still looked capable, he still looked strong. Might definitely be time to move up in weight, I don't deny that, but I didn't see a shot fighter.
Wilder, Deontay Wilder. That's a shot fighter. The way he looked in the Parker fight, the way he looked in the Zhang fight, that's what shot looks like.
Everything is off. Hand-eye coordination is off, timing is off, speed, punches are flat.
Can't take a punch.
That's what shot looks like. And granted, that Regis was floored 2 times by Jack Catterall. Jack got floored too, at least once.
This is a good fight.
Regis Prograis at 147, depending on how he's matched, might be able to win a title. Don't forget, Mario Barrios moved up there.
If Mario Barrios can win a title at 147, Regis has got a shot.
And you know that stylistically, that's actually a very good fight for Regis Prograis. A come-forward volume puncher, like Mario Barrios, who's not big on boxing, not big on defense, but he's big on offense. That's right up Regis's alley. Regis won't be very big as a welterweight, but there is still one or some matchups I think he can win, like a Roman Villa fight, a Mario Barrios fight.
You know what I'd like? Let him rebound off the loss with Ishmael Barroso. Ishmael's an aggressive guy. He likes to throw punches and bunches. I could go for Prograis versus Barroso at 147.
It's a good rebound fight. Two guys that hit hard. I think Regis can win that one, and Ishmael's not busy with anything.
That'd be nice on an undercard.
No cockeyed optimist. I'm just telling you. The fight I saw on Saturday, that guy didn't look shot.
I've seen shot, and that guy didn't look shot.
He's just got to tweak a few things, and it's not too late to learn a few things.
He's got to learn to cut the damn ring off.
So maybe some additions to the corner need to be made, and some new skills need to be learned. But I don't think it's too late. Men's super middleweight news. A few reactions to my previous upload yesterday in reference to a Canelo Alvarez versus Chris Eubank Jr. fight, and how Canelo Alvarez's fans, they don't keep the same energy for a Chris Eubank Jr. fight that they keep for a Canelo fight, which is very obvious to me. One fan that goes by the name 055 Black Man said, "I'm a fan of your channel, Ring IQ, but I hardly doubt Canelo is scared of a guy that couldn't stop Madrimov at 154.
I never said Canelo was scared of Terrence.
Canelo has fought bigger punchers than Crawford ever has, and shouldn't fight Artur. There is a limit to every fighter."
I never said Canelo was scared of Terrence.
No, I never said Canelo was scared of Terrence. In fact, I said the opposite. I don't think Canelo's scared of Terrence. I think Canelo's fans are scared of Terrence.
Huh?
I said Canelo's fans are scared of Terrence because they don't keep the same energy for a Chris Eubank Jr. fight, for example, that they keep for a Crawford fight. When it comes to a Crawford fight, they are vehemently against it.
But they're okay with this.
I saw another comment from a guy who goes by the name 38 Alpha as, who said, "Crawford don't sell and he is a beggar, let alone never even fought at 160.
So what?
Jermel Charlo never fought at 160 and Canelo just fought him, or did you forget?
Jermel Charlo never fought at 168. Canelo just fought him.
The guy continued, "Crawford fans don't buy pay-per-views. They are broke." Notice how he managed to misspell Crawford? This guy thinks I forgot that he was a big Errol Spence Jr. fan, a big fish fan, the big fish that still hasn't come back, the big fish that he told me was going to annihilate Terrence Crawford.
That's why he's got this hard-on for Terrence Crawford and loves to tear him down, because Terrence beat Errol and made him look like an idiot.
He doesn't even really like Canelo Alvarez, you know. 38 Alpha as is actually more of a David Benavidez fan than a Canelo fan. This isn't even about supporting Canelo so much as tearing down Terrence, at least for him.
And that he's still doing stuff like this over a year after Errol got his ass kicked, that tells me you're still bitter, you're still angry, and you still feel stupid. You should.
Because you are. The smartest thing you can do, Mr. Alpha S, is stop talking so that nobody knows how stupid you are. Because once you open your mouth...
The word is out.
Another guy that goes by the name Flashback, 4588, said, "How is Eubank more undeserving than Berlanga?"
Well, Edgar Berlanga was Canelo's WBA mandatory challenger. What's Chris?
He's beaten Arthur Abraham, James DeGale, Liam Smith.
You mean an over-the-hill Arthur Abraham? You mean an over-the-hill James DeGale? Both those guys were circling the drain when Chris fought them.
Liam Smith, he got knocked out by Liam Smith. Remember? He needed 2 fights for 1 decisive win over Liam Smith, and that makes him deserving of a Canelo fight.
No.
He said he's been in the ring with Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves.
You mean the other 2 guys that beat him? Because Billy Joe Saunders beat him years ago and George Groves took him to school.
For context, this is what's supposed to make the argument that Chris deserves a Canelo fight. Chris Eubank Jr., who's in the process of ducking Hamza Shiraz. Another guy who goes by the name Mars Fleet 3815 said, Terrence is a 154-pounder.
So was Jermell Charlo. What's your point?
Canelo is a 168-pounder. Of course Eubank Jr. is more deserving than Bud.
Do you see what I mean?
I would still like to see Bud versus Saul, but he is not deserving. Bud hasn't even tried to campaign at 160.
Neither did Jermell Charlo when Canelo fought him.
Much less at 168.
Neither did Jermell Charlo when Canelo fought him.
It's in Bud's courtyard to move up and fight at least one true 168-pounder.
Jermell Charlo didn't have to do that, so why should Terrence?
Bud is not deserving. He wants a shot based on his credentials, but he's not deserving at 168.
Oh, but Jermell Charlo was, because of all the 168-pounders he fought?
Going one level up is not as bad as having to climb 2 divisions. He barely passed the junior middleweight division against Madrimov.
If that's true, then what the hell are you so worried about?
It is still better than a Eubank fight, but Bud is not deserving.
Bullshit. And this is what I mean when I say Canelo's fans are scared. Because here you have a guy whose entire argument is Terrence never fought above 154. He never fought at 168. Well, neither did Jermell Charlo, and Canelo fought him. Or did you forget?
This is why I think they're scared. Because you're putting up obstacles, you're putting up roadblocks, you're saying he's got to fight a guy at 168 before he fights Canelo when Jermell Charlo didn't fight anybody at 168. En route to Canelo, he went from the Brian Castaño rematch straight into the Canelo fight. So if I'm proposing that Terrence get the same shot, why should that bother you?
Because you're scared.
Do you think something as simple as this needs a paragraph this long? This guy wrote a short story.
A load of bullshit takes time to explain.
That's all this is. And these people never want to have conversations like this in real time. I do several live streams throughout the week, and guys like this never show up because underneath it all, they know how stupid their arguments sound in real time.
Now, it doesn't seem any less stupid in the comments section than it would in real time.
But it buys him time, because if he tried to say this stuff in real time, it'd get shot down as soon as he says it. You can't make an argument that Terrence doesn't deserve a shot because he hasn't fought at 154 when Jermell got a shot.
And what the hell did he do at 154? You guys don't even understand what I'm saying. Canelo can fight Terrence Crawford, or he cannot fight Terrence Crawford. That's his prerogative, but that wasn't the subject.
You guys were the subject, and how you don't keep the same energy for Canelo versus Crawford as opposed to Canelo versus Eubank.
Every argument you guys tried to make proved me right.
You're inconsistent. Your arguments don't make any sense. We've established that, yet you're inconsistent. Could it be because you're scared?
I never said Canelo was scared. I said you're scared.
You? It's about you. From the moment that Terrence Crawford expressed an interest in moving all the way up to 168 and taking on Canelo, I noticed many of Canelo's fans started tearing him down and trashing him, and it didn't make sense to me because he's one of several fighters that wants to fight Canelo. When you're the cash cow, when you're the face of boxing, that's the way it is. And you say that, well, Terrence is just showing up for a check. So did Jermell Charlo, so did Edgar Berlanga. Those fights didn't bother you. This one does.
Why?
It's because you're scared. Edgar Berlanga didn't show up to win, he came for a check. Same with Jermell. That didn't bother you. This does.
Because Terrence ain't just showing up for a check. If it's just about a check, he would have fought Conor McGregor.
If it were just about a check. Clearly, it's about more than just a check. If he passes on that guaranteed cash to pursue Canelo.
Must be about something else, and whatever that is, scares you.
I don't even think Terrence Crawford beats him. I don't think Terrence beats Canelo Alvarez, but I don't think he's just showing up for a check either.
You're just saying that because you're a pussy. You're just saying that because you're scared.
And you're trying very hard to hide it.